Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here and welcome to Rogue System. Today I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the Flying Fox SV46-2, which is a service vehicle available in the new Early Access Steam release version of Rogue System. So, let's get inside the ship. There we go. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice in this version of the game is that we actually have no artificial gravity inside the cabin, which is a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun actually, just floating around inside the cabin. Now you can control your character inside the cabin using the usual WASD keys and the mouse. I'm just kind of moving around just now, and you can also push yourself sort of up and down using left control and left shift. So that can be a lot of fun. What we'll do next though is we'll jump into the pilot's seat and from here we have a much more stable viewing position to observe the cabin. And first thing to always do when you're sitting down in the seat is to switch the seat mode, which will bring the pilot's harness down, securing you in the seat, and it'll turn it around so that you're facing your controls. Now, as with the previous ship in Rogue System, the Fire Arc, we have a viewport monitor system which gives us a view of the outside world. I'll enable that now by going to Displays on the hard-mounted display and powering it. After a few moments it will come to life and give us a view of the outside world. There we go, along with orbital data on the right hand side. So, on the hard-mounted display, currently we have displays. We have our docking ports here, we have communications, and we have navigation. This would allow us to plot a transfer to another planetary body. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you through the different controls in the ship. Now this, what I'm going to be showing you just now, this will ape the content that you'll find in Tutorial 1 within the game itself for the Flying Fox. So first, we'll take a look at the top right overhead here. This contains the controls for the ECS, the Electrics Control System, and it's broken into a series of segments. We have BMS at the bottom here, which is the Battery Management System. We have the FCS, which is the Fuel Cell Management System, and at the very top we have this main controls related to the ECS system. So if we start at the bottom, the ship has two batteries. You can flip through them here, and the controls here will allow you to tie a particular battery to a particular bus, and also enable or disable charging. And actually, you have controls here for turning the batteries on and off as well, but you wouldn't normally do that. Your batteries are effectively your power source of last resort. As such, you want to keep them charged at all times, because you will need them in the event that any of your main power delivery systems fail. Just above that, we have the FCS, the fuel cells. They draw a fuel and an oxidizer from the Reactant control system, which we'll see in a moment, and they cause them to react, and that reaction generates energy. Normally you have them turned off but ready to use, and they give you backup power in the event that your main power source, the LENR or your reactor, fails. And then up at the top here, like I said, you've got your main controls to do with the ECS. These control power distribution, and they also allow you to monitor your different power sources and your different power buses. So, next we'll take a look at the top left overhead. On this one we have the LSS, or Life Support System, we have comms, and we have your CSSM, which is the Core Ship System Manager. Now the LSS here, it allows you to monitor and control your consumable tanks, your atmospheric scrubbers, your heating, ventilation and air conditioning, otherwise known as HVAC. It also gives you a monitoring display here, letting you know what the situation is inside the cabin at the present time. Up above that you have comms. Now most of the comms controls are actually in the hard-mounted display, but here you have controls for your power, your transmitter strength, and the use of your emergency beacon. And then at the very top of your top left-hand overhead, you've got the CSSM. Mainly this is really just giving you controls for your seat, your lighting, and different hatches on the ship. So, let's take a little look at the left-hand panel now. On your left-hand panel, First we'll take a look at the RCM, which is this panel here. This is the Reactant Core Management System. Now this is what I was talking about just a moment ago with regards to the fuel cells. The fuel cells and the LENR and your thruster system, they all draw gases from these various tanks. Now, the Reactant core module can be ejected in the event that one of these potentially volatile tanks goes critical in some way. Because of that, the LSS stores its consumables separately. So if you have to eject the RCM, you're not going to lose all your air. Next to that, we have your TMS, or Temperature Management System. This contains controls for your radiators, passive heat pipes, and active laser cooling system. Obviously in space, spaceships have to manage their heat very carefully, and lots of systems produce heat, and you can effectively end up cooking your ship if you're not careful. Okay. Next to that, we'll take a little look at the LENR, which is this panel here. That's the Low Energy Nuclear Reactor. This is the main power source on board your ship. It produces energy for the weapons, engines, and other high energy consuming devices. Next, we'll move on to the MTS, which is down here. This is the Maneuvering Thruster System. Now this is used for attitude and translational control, as well as making small burns for local orbital transfers. You've got a variety of controls here allowing you to adjust the amount of power output you're getting from that system, and also controlling how much of that power is diverted to manoeuvring or to the boost engine, which actually allows you to do little burns. Now this particular engine is what's called an MSVHOP, which stands for a magnetically contained variable high output plasma drive. Next, we'll take a look at the other engine system on board the ship, the MES, or main engine system. This is you've got two of these, and they are EMRCs, or electromagnetic resonant cavity drives. Now these are designed for larger, more powerful burns for interplanetary flight. They're very, very high draw, and these need the LENR to operate. And then next to that we have the NAS, or Navigation and Autopilot System. Now this, the navigation part of that is your navigational computer. It calculates your transfers and just makes it far easier actually to get an accurate planetary transfer. And in the autopilot side of that, provides stabilization and alignment modes. If I hit autopilot allow, these modes become available. And that concludes all of the basic systems on board the Flying Fox at the present time. The last thing I'll show you is how you get back out of the seat. If you click your seat mode, the seat will rotate back around and your harness will raise. You're now free to get out of the seat by pressing the R key, and you can then proceed to float around again to your heart's desire. And that concludes the initial introduction to the Flying Fox. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I hope you all download this game on Steam as soon as it's available, and I'll see you next time.